Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer and subscriber. Folks, I want to draw your attention to Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz from Florida. He's 38 years old and he is a rising star within the Republican Party. He spends a lot of time, has spent a lot of time with former President Donald Trump, and he now was talking to a crowd of supporters in Wyoming. Remember, he's from Florida. He went to Wyoming and he spoke with a crowd of supporters about his vision for the country. He made some super interesting comments that I'll be highlighting. In fact, there was a reporter from Politico. Her name is Tara Palmieri, and she was essentially covering him. And you'll see this headline on your screen from Politico: "My Wild Day in Wyoming with Matt Gaetz." And one thing I want to point out is the most powerful Republican congresswoman in the House of Representatives is Liz Cheney, Congresswoman Liz Cheney. She's from Wyoming. But guess what? Because Liz Cheney spoke against former President Trump and voted to impeach him along with the Democrats in the House of Representatives, there's a lot of anger towards her. And Matt Gaetz was actually talking about that and speaking against her. And boy, oh boy, the crowd, you have to watch it to believe it, especially when Matt Gaetz mentioned the name of former President Trump. I'm going to quote something quite significant from the Politico article because here's a reporter that spent, in her words, a wild day in Wyoming covering Matt Gaetz. And the reporter writes, "Honestly, it was hard to find anyone who would defend Cheney. And I really tried to talk to as many people as I could, not at the rally. I stopped at a biker bar, a gun shop, a vape shop, a hardware store, a steakhouse, a diner, a dentist's office, and a pawn shop. It wasn't easy to get people to talk to me with my mask on. I had to shout many times that I didn't want to get the pandemic. Some people actually said they wouldn't speak with me unless I removed my mask." And basically, the consensus was that a lot of people are upset with Liz Cheney in Wyoming. So keep in mind, Wyoming is considered Trump country because there are a lot of supporters of former President Trump in Wyoming. And again, Matt Gaetz, who's from Florida, speaking with a crowd of supporters in Wyoming, triggered a very strong reaction that I want you to watch. But first, let's hear from Tara Palmieri from Politico as she's speaking with Katie Tour at MSNBC, and she was in Trump country, and she talked about the Trump fever that existed 5 years ago. And now with the second impeachment and the Twitter ban, what Tara says is that the Trump fever is stronger than ever. Let's roll the segment.
She might find herself in jeopardy when she's up for re-election in 2022. Again, 2 years is a long time, so we'll see. What does it mean for the party's desire to get on the same page with Democrats for anything?
I think it's going to be really hard. You've got to have a really moderate constituency to be able to do that. It seems like with Trump not at the forefront, not on Twitter, not speaking, he's almost become like this looming martyr, legendary figure. They feel like the person that is leading them has been persecuted and they're warriors in this fight for Trump. I think it may have made him even more popular and people more suspicious and defiant of the establishment Republican Party as it has existed forever. And I can see that these are the people that go out to vote in primary elections. And that's why someone like Liz Cheney should be concerned, even though that primary is in 2022, because these people feel so passionately. The ones that I had to ask how they feel about Liz Cheney that didn't know who she was, they're not going out to vote in the primary. You know, it's the people, it's the MAGA people, it's the baby boomers. They're the ones that are pro-Trump, and they're the ones who are going to control the party because they actually go out and vote in primaries.
The question is what happens in a general election. Tara, please keep doing these reporting trips. You sound a lot like I think what I sounded like in the beginning of the Trump era when I was trying to wave my arms and say, hey, listen, no, he's got a following. Pay attention
you were
to this
dead
guy.
on.
Tara Palmieri. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
And folks, if you're thinking to yourself, well, who's Matt Gaetz? What's all this fuss all about? Well, I want you to see this for yourself. And I believe this could be the next star of the Republican Party. Who knows, folks? There are a lot of interesting people emerging from both sides, okay? And Matt Gaetz is definitely someone you want to watch from the Republican Party. Whether you agree with him or not, that's entirely your decision. But boy, oh boy, this guy is an effective public speaker and he has a lot of passionate supporters, especially when he elicits the name of former President Trump. In this segment, we'll take a look at Matt Gaetz talking about the private insider club in Washington, D.C., consisting of some Republicans, not just President Biden, but some Republicans. He mentions Mitt Romney, and he sets up the stage to speak against Liz Cheney. He also talks about the battle for America First. Pretty incredible comments, folks. I want you to watch this closely, and then in the next segment, I'll show you the crowd reaction. Let's roll the tape.
Now in Washington, D.C., the private insider club of Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, and Liz Cheney, they want to return our government to its default setting, enriching them, making them more powerful at our expense. But we can stop them, and it starts right here in Wyoming. After all, prairie populism is a lot more effective when we join together, across party lines, getting rid of those old dogmas. Our battle is no longer just Republican versus Democrat. It's not just red team versus blue team.
That's right.
Absolutely not. We got to put America first. Those are the battles. Those are the old battles of yesteryear. But people have always come to the great frontiers of Wyoming to win the future. That's why I'm here. We're going to see a better future for our people. We're going to draw it closer to us, and we are going to ensure that we get better representation all over this great country to fight for the men and women who have made America great. We deserve American greatness, not managed decline. And in that battle, it's the establishment against the rest of us. And sure, they control big media, big corporations, big tech, big defense contractors, and they walk around Washington, D.C. with big checkbooks and even bigger egos. But we have something that is far more precious and far more powerful. We control the true spirit and identity of America. And you know what? If you want to prove that you have the power, defeat Liz Cheney in this upcoming election, and Wyoming will bring Washington to its knees.
In the next segment, Matt Gaetz talks about the battle for the soul of America. Pretty interesting, because I've actually heard President Biden talk about the battle for the soul of our nation. So Matt Gaetz talks about the battle for the soul of America. He talks about New York's silly lockdowns, and he just goes at it against Congresswoman Liz Cheney from Wyoming. And folks, the thing that's ironic to me and jumps out at me is that a Republican congressman from Florida speaking with a crowd of supporters in Wyoming with a vision for the country and taking the name of former President Trump and eliciting this sort of an intense reaction. Let's roll the tape, and I want you to watch this, folks. This is how movements begin, and this is indicative of how divided we are as a country. I do believe sometimes that there are two Americas, but I do want to be clear, for me on this channel, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American. Let's roll the tape and hear from Matt Gaetz in Wyoming.
See, Washington, D.C. mythologizes the establishment power brokers like Liz Cheney for climbing in a deeply corrupt game. Yes. But there are more of us than there are of them, and we see the fakes and the phonies more clearly than ever before. They've suppressed American wages by allowing unchecked illegal immigration. They've hollowed out the towns and villages in our country with trade deals that enrich China at the expense of our people. We were told by Liz Cheney and all of the globalists that if we accepted globalism, we would export America's best crops, best products, best services. But instead, all too often, we are exporting America's bravest patriots to die in foreign distant lands. A nation that sends its best to go fight in the worst places in the world should not send its worst to be representatives in the United States Congress. But we are here in happy spirit and joy, because we do not have to accept failure or losing. We do not have to be condemned to some grim fate. We're Americans. And if there's a fight for the soul of this country, we intend to win it. Our fellow Americans aren't going to be living like the folks in the Portland, Oregon Autonomous Zone or the Chaz. Our fellow Americans aren't going to accept New York's silly lockdowns that constrain freedom. Our fellow Americans aren't going to live on the feces-stained sidewalks of San Francisco. No, President Donald J. Trump showed us that with strong borders, with a focused foreign policy, with less regulation, with less involvement from Washington, and with lower taxes, America's best days are still yet to come. Don't you ever let some spoiled celebrity or athlete or socialist politician ever tell you otherwise. America is not just an idea. It's not just a constitution. America is our home, and we must protect our home. One thing America is not some vaccine to global tyranny that we have to administer through decades of military occupations in foreign lands. No, success means we honor how special America is, and it also means that we have to see our leaders for who they truly are. Now, Liz Cheney taunts me for wearing makeup in my television appearances. Now, makeup only hides the slightest imperfections of the skin. It does very little to conceal the soulless corruption of Washington, D.C.
So, folks, that was it. Let me know what you think about Matt Gaetz' comments. Let me know what you thought of what Tara Palmieri from Politico pointed out and her observation of the fever, if you will, for not just Trump, but Trump 2.0s like Matt Gaetz, who made the trip from Florida to Wyoming to essentially speak against, campaign against Liz Cheney, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who up until this point is the most powerful Republican Congresswoman in the House of Representatives. Pretty incredible what's going on. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll get a link to that entire video, to that entire speech. It was a long speech that he gave, and some things that he said were pretty interesting, even more intense than what I've showed you here. So you can check out his entire speech if you want through the link that is provided in the description section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. In case you're new to my channel, check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, I want you to know that on this channel, we focus on politics, we focus on the economy. Now, I want you to understand what's going on in the complex world of Washington, D.C., what President Biden is up to, what House Speaker Pelosi is up to, what the Senate Majority Leader, new Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer is up to, and what the bane of his existence, the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, is up to. I help you understand all the games, all the chess games that get played in Washington, D.C., all the different players in the chess games, including the four individuals I just mentioned, because I want you to understand what's going on so you can make sense of the craziness that surrounds us. If you want to get breaking news and alerts from us, simply get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list going forward. You can opt out of the SMS alerts at any point in time that you want. You can also get added to our email alerts list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and then you can get added to our email list going forward. Now, keep in mind that sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time, so all you have to do is simply bookmark our channel, youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. Just bookmark the home page of our channel, and then you'll be able to visit the home page of our channel and watch any of the videos at any point in time that you want, and you're not going to miss a single video. As always, you'll find a link in the description section below to all the resources we use in the creation of the content in our videos, so you can dig deeper into that content on your own. Also, please comment below and let us know what you think. Our community is bipartisan. bipartisan, it's respectful, it's growing very, very rapidly. All I ask from you is that you please give me a like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'll do anything for a like, including show you some of my rather bizarre breakdancing skills. Here they are. Okay, that was it. Those were my breakdancing skills. No, but seriously, I would appreciate it if you can give me a like. That would mean a lot to me. That does help out the YouTube algorithm. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. And you can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. In fact, here's my Twitter feed. You'll see what stories I'm reading. You'll be able to follow the news with me because I retweet in real time. So definitely follow us on Twitter and become a part of our growing community. Speaking of community, please share this video with just 2 friends or family members. I would really appreciate that because all the content on our channel that we provide, the news content, is all free for you to watch. All I ask of you is you please help me grow the community and please share this video with 2 friends or family members. Once again, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. That sets about a confetti-like atmosphere for me because that makes me happy. And my goal for all our viewers and subscribers is as we get through the different crises that are surrounding us now, I want it to be raining money for you. I want you to learn how to make money because that's step 1. Then I want you to learn how to save money. And then the final and the most important step is I'm going to help you learn how to invest money. There are many different playlists on our channel. Check out the Financial Freedom playlist. Check out the Managing Your Money playlist. There are many playlists that will help you understand how to manage your money. Fundamentally, you need to, again, know how to make money, how to save money, and how to invest money. And that's what I'll teach you on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time.